This episode of the Pageant Project is proudly brought to you by Diamond Heels. Diamond Heels supplies shoes to women for every occasion, including figure and bodybuilding competitors, pole dancers, and of course pageant queens. With over 350 pairs in stock, they offer a personalised service, including fitting and prompt Australia-wide delivery. Check them out at diamondheels.com.au and make sure to use the coupon code TPP to get 15% off your next order.
Hi everyone, my name is Taylor Curry and I'm a Miss Grand National Finalist. I'm here today to be interviewed by Pageant Project.
Hey everyone, it's Adrian from the Pageant Project, and I'm here with Miss Grand Australia Finalist 2018, Taylor Marlene. Taylor, welcome to the show.
Hi.
Taylor, you're coming from the Gold Coast, aren't you?
I am, yes, based out in Paradise Point, so very good spot.
And let's start with the Miss Grand system, if we can. Can you tell us, I guess, what sort of pageant experience you've had leading up to this point, and what in particular drew you to the Miss Grand Australia pageant?
So Miss Grand has been something that I've been looking at for quite a while because of their involvement with Stop the War and Violence. So the whole background on it really intrigues me. So I'm really excited to be a part of the national finals this year. In regards to my background with pageants, I've done Miss All Nations, where I represented Australia over in China at the international final. I placed second over there, which was really good. And my first pageant as well, which I did, which was World Supermodel Australia. So I represented Australia and placed third. So that was my first big pageant. And that was really exciting as well. So apart from that, I come from a dancing background. So it's like a whole new industry to me.
I was going to say, because I was doing my research, as I always do, as much as I can. And I was looking at the things that you do. And normally when I talk to someone in a pageant competitor, they're multi-talented, multi-passionate. But you almost take this to like new heights. I mean, you sound like either Lara Croft or a female James Bond. So I was seeing the dance. And am I right in saying that dancing has taken you all around the world and you've won competitions around the world?
Yeah, it has. It's been a massive part of my life. So I did that for about 12 years professionally.
Right. So there's that dancing, just as a side note. Then there's the modeling, which you're new to, aren't you? Relatively new to.
Yeah, so after my Ballroom and Latin dancing career, I retired from that, and I was just kind of picked out of the crowd to enter a competition and got a few modeling gigs. It's just kind of gone from there. So,
right.
Yeah.
And then I saw karate somewhere.
Yes. Oh, you have done your research. Yes, no, I did Kyokushin for a little while. So just as a bit of background self-defense, I think it's a good skill to have in your pocket.
Absolutely. And tell us about your work as well, because I know you're a uni student. So hang on, let's talk about uni first. That's easy. What are you studying at uni?
Yeah, so at the moment I'm doing a bachelor in nursing. So I'm only first year in, so I've just done my first semester and moving on into second. I've been traveling so much that I've had to put study on hold. But I work as a disability support worker for a non-for-profit organisation called Life Without Barriers. So doing that for about 4 years and studying full-time as well. So.
Okay, so before I ask you a bit more about your work, because that sounds really interesting and really important, how do you manage your time? Because is there anything that I've missed? Because I'm sure there's something else that you do that I haven't seen. So how do you manage your time, and is there anything that I've missed?
My time management is always just, I'm chock-a-full all the time, so I don't usually get a spare day to myself. So I'm either working day shifts or night shifts, and then I'm up at uni in Brisbane, so there's like that hour travel as well. And then I'm also doing pageants and bits and pieces every now and then, and charity fundraising work. So yeah, we're a bit all over the place, but it's always good to keep busy.
I can tell. So tell us a bit more about your work, because that sounds, as I said, very interesting and very important.
Yeah, so I've been working with Life Without Barriers for 4 years, as I said, and we do community access, which is where I take my clients out into the community and just help them socializing and interacting with other people and generally doing grocery shopping and movies and bits and pieces like that. I also do personal care, so that comes down to like aid changes, showering, all the personal care in that kind of regard, so looking after clients who don't have the mental age or capacity to do it themselves. So assisting there, and then also my domestic care, so helping out in their households as well and keeping everything clean. So it ranges depending on my client, whether they're physically, they've got physical disabilities or mental disabilities. So
And
yeah.
how did you get into that career? Because it's a slightly unusual one.
Yeah, it is. I originally started in dental nursing. So I was a dental nurse for about two years, I think. And then I heard of job openings in this avenue, and my mum worked as a property manager for them. So I just kind of transferred in that way and trained up, which was really good.
You sound like you've had many, many careers in your young life. You sound like you've lived enough to be 82. Uh, Leading up to Miss Grand, I mean, what are we? We're only a week. Geez, so it's less than a week out at this point, isn't it?
It's not far away.
I'm sorry that I remind.
I know.
What is your pageant preparation like? Because I've spoken to a lot of pageant competitors and they all have their slight twist on it. Some are very calm going in, some are hectic all over the place. So how do you approach pageant preparation?
I guess obviously training as well. So I just hit the gym a lot. Gym, Pilates, hot yoga, so kind of keep physically fit. I also make sure that my diet and everything is on track. The other side of that is also preparing for questions as well. So I spend a lot of time rehearsing different things and kind of making sure that I'm able to answer questions on the spot. So this is helping out great. It's helping me practice right now. So I do a lot of that side of things as well. So my family helped me out with that. What else do I do? Just general time management, really. And then I'm very active within my community. So I've got so much on my plate that I try to balance it all and fit it in around my work schedule. So
Sure.
it's busy.
I can imagine. It sounds busy. How are you feeling leading into this pageant?
I think, like, I'm nervous, but I think that, a general standard of nerves is pretty acceptable and normal. So I'm a little bit nervous, but at the same time, I think all the girls are stunning and it can go either way. And so I'm not going to stress about the results. I'm just going to enjoy the time that I have down there. I know that the last pageants I've come out of, I've just met amazing people that I still keep in contact with. And it's more just like the networking and meeting people and making new friends and the experience. So I'm more looking forward to that than I am for stressing about the results. So
Right. So for you, the results, I mean, I wouldn't say they don't matter at all, but for you, it's more about the experience and the actual placing that you get.
yeah, well, I think that at the end of the day, as long as I put my 110% effort in and I perform up to the standards that I'm proud of and what I expect of myself, I think that at the end of the day, results don't really matter as long as I'm performing to the best of my capabilities. And I'll always be improving that in all different areas of my life. And I know all the girls themselves are training hard as well. So it's up in the air as to who's going to get it, and there's so many gorgeous girls involved, so I'm excited.
Do you have a favorite part of the competition? I won't ask you your most dreaded part because that seems to be, but do you have a favorite part of pageant competition?
Oh, favorite part. I think it's like right before you go on stage. So it's like all the girls out the back and we're all nervous, excited, and it's like the first time we walk out on stage. In the first appearance, I guess, because the first time you go out, it's like nerve-wracking and you're shaking and your knees are shaking and it's just trying to hide that. But and then afterwards you come back and it's like all you girls are just laughing and it's just so much fun. And then the next time round it just goes smoother. And it'll just, yeah, it's just like a big event. So it feels really exciting. I think it's that moment just before you go on.
And how do you deal with nerves? Because I'm assuming that in your dance career, you've had similar sort of, waiting to go on stage, and that's when the anxiety can sort of kick in. So,
Yeah.
I mean, how do you handle those cold sweats?
Sweat it out. No, well, I guess from my experience, my ballroom and Latin dancing, I'm used to kind of just prepping myself. So as long as I spend maybe 10 minutes before I go on, just organizing myself and making sure that I'm stress free. I think if I go out there like stressed and really anxious, it just doesn't go as smoothly. So I just need to be confident in myself and make sure that I know that I'm the best that I could be and I've prepared and I'm ready for whatever hits my way. So yeah, just having that calm before going on.
And can you tell us more about your dancing career? Because if I caught it correctly, you said that you've retired, and that makes you sound again ancient, but you're only 22, you've retired. So can you tell us
23.
more about the story? 23,
Yeah.
beg your
I
pardon.
know, it's just been my birthday, so
Ah,
it's getting old.
oh, Jesus. Okay. 23, you only look 22. But I know that I work with some dancers, and dancing is a very sort of taxing career. I mean, if you're doing it professionally, you're training ridiculous hours every
Yeah.
day. So can you tell us more? Because I'm fascinated about that sort of professional dancing career.
Yep. So I did it for 12 years, and it was through school as well. So my time management comes from that as well. So I was at school full time, and then I also danced 25 hours a week in rehearsals. So my partner and I were constantly training and working extremely hard. We won numerous Australian Championship titles. So I think we've won 3 or 4 Australian Championship titles, and then represented Australia over at our World Championships. So I've been to Russia, Moscow, Moldova. I've been to England, Blackpool. I've been to China, Shenzhen, New Zealand. Where else have I gone? Sorry, I'm like trying to think back. So I've represented Australia at quite a few different countries at our World Championships, and it's been really exciting. It's a life lesson that I think you can only learn in a competitive sport. So
Mm.
it's just great. It really teaches you a lot of things. So.
And why did you decide to give it up?
It was a very expensive sport, so it was costing me about 500 to 600 a week just in rehearsals, in practice and lessons, because I would fly down to Sydney to my coaches. So my coaches were, I had one coach that was an 8-time world champion, and then my other ones had placed really highly overseas as well. So I traveled to Sydney and back all the time to get lessons with them. And then I did the 2 styles as well as the Latin and the ballroom. So it came to quite a pricey bill at the end of the week. So that and getting a partner. So my partner and I split up at that point. Partner is in dancing partner.
Sure.
Yeah, sorry. Some people get confused. So in the dancing world, partner is just like your dance partner. So we ended up splitting because he had commitments with work and didn't want to make the move overseas. And finding someone that's at the same level is really hard in Australia. So you kind of have to move overseas to get that partner. And at that stage, I thought it was important to get into study and start working on a backup career. So yeah,
But
where I am.
you must miss it though, to have put so much of your life, I mean more than half your life, into something that often. I mean, there must be
Yeah.
times when you just miss it, right?
Oh, definitely. Occasionally I go and watch the state finals and the national finals and just kind of touch base and see how everyone's going. And it's nerve-wracking, yeah, because you get up there and then it's kind of like, oh, this is where I should be. I should be out on the floor. And yeah, you get all that anticipation to go out. And yeah, kind of get sad that you're not on the floor, but it's a lot of fun. Even just watching and just catching up with everyone. So yeah, and so many newcomers coming through too. It's like the whole world's changed. So
I love how you say newcomers coming through and you're only 23. Again, but I guess in the dancing world, I mean, the career is pretty short, isn't it?
yeah, well, dancing generally you've got up to the age of 30. So you need to hit your peak point by my age now. So like 22, 23, you need to be at your peak. So I couldn't go back into dancing now and expect to be the world champion because I'm kind of getting too old now. But yeah, it's a very exciting and competitive sport.
And I could be mistaken here, but in terms of dancing and just going out to the club and dancing, did you write that you have a very odd style when you go out dancing, like clubbing dancing?
Oh no, I'm the fist pump all the way. I'm that fist pump, like, the sprinkler, the trolley, yeah.
Why do the
No,
skills not transfer to the club?
I can dance with a partner. Like if we go to a salsa club, I ace that. But when it comes to club dancing, I'm just like, I'm so bad. My friends will be like, dropping it. I'm like, yeah, I can't do that. We're just gonna.
So
Yeah.
the fist pump, raise the
Yeah,
roof and the sprinkler.
yeah,
But
press in the corner.
by the way, I mean, our national director, our dear national director, Danny Fitch, I mean, did you know that she's also she's a dance nut?
I know she's doing a lot of salsa dancing at the moment. I've been following her social media. It looks so good. So
Yeah,
I'll have to join in on a class.
Well, I don't know if she's planning it this year, but at last year's event, she actually had a professional dance couple start off the whole event. So it'd be kind of interesting if they get someone out and you're going like, I could do that. But that's something that you should talk to Danny about because she's
To
passionate
be my
about.
talent section.
Yeah,
It's like me
exactly.
to come in. Yep.
What are some of the lessons that you've learned from dancing? Just the most important lessons, I guess.
I guess one of the most important things is sacrifice. You learn what's important and what you're willing to sacrifice for it. So when I was dancing, I couldn't go out and hang out with friends and stuff a lot. I mean, I was in school. So it was kind of like schoolwork was priority and then dancing was priority. And then anything else that I had time for, it was like it came afterwards. So it kind of helps set your priorities straight and puts like the work you're going to put in something and how much you want something. So the dedication and strive and working on something. It also taught me a lot about taking criticism. I feel like competitive sports are extremely good, especially growing up, to be able to win well and lose well. A lot of people can win really well, but losing is like devastating to a lot of people. So I think competitive sport enables you to lose well, which is something that's been like extremely important because obviously I definitely don't win everything. So, you know, having those losers pushes you further and pushes you to come back and do it again. And knowing that you've done your best no matter what the result is really important, I think. Just being proud in who you are at that point and how you performed is the most important thing at the end of the day, not the other people that you're competing against. So I think knowing not to compare yourself against others was really important. Yeah, so a lot of that sacrifice and how to win and lose were really important features. So
That all sounds like it's valuable lessons for the pageant world as well, because it sounds almost
yeah,
exactly the same.
it correlates to a lot of different things. I think even just in work as well, like with promotions and bits and pieces, as long as you're performing 100% to your ability and doing the best you can and being able to take on criticism and turn it into a positive light, so not taking something negatively, I think is really important.
So that's the dancing career, which is 12 years young. Can you tell us more about your modeling career? Because as we talked about before, you were literally plucked out of an audience. So tell us where your modeling career is at and what it's like on a daily basis.
Okay, so when I get time to do a bit of modeling, because I don't have a whole lot of time, so every now and then I'll do some modeling work, which is always really fun and a bit of a change up in my routine, which is great. Um, but I got into it because I went along to support a friend in a competition, just a local competition, and the organizer found me in the crowd and pulled me up and told me that I had to enter. So I entered that and ended up placing second, which was really good.
Did you beat
Um,
your friend? Well, hang on. Your friend was in it and then you entered the same competition? That'd be awkward.
Yeah, well, unfortunately, my friend didn't make it through.
Oh, no. You can't do that.
No, it was really bad. I was like, this is not okay. I can't enter. But yeah, I ended up getting through. So I won that round and got through. My friend was amazing though. She was so supportive. So yeah, we went out and celebrated afterwards. But yeah, it was an interesting time.
And for you, modeling, so it's not a full-time career. It's more like when you get to do it, you have some fun doing it.
Yeah, I mean, it's something that I would love to get into if it took off. I would completely enjoy getting into that industry. I think it opens up many opportunities in networking, and I'd love to do it. But at this stage, like to me, community work is really important. And then my job, getting into nursing as well, is really important, and extending that. I just kind of love the ability to help someone that's in need. So they're my priorities at the moment. And then if modeling ever took off, of course, like I wouldn't give up the opportunity, which is why I just do pageants every now and then to keep in contact with everyone and continue to push myself in another area, which is really good. So
And so with the pageantry, so what is your main, because a lot of people enter it to either build networks or they're passionate about a particular cause and they want a bigger platform to speak about it. So what are you, when you enter a pageant, what are your main motivations or your main reasons?
I usually look at a lot of the charities that they fundraise for, which is, like we've got UN Women, which is Miss Grand that's fundraising. So that department of it means a lot to me as well because I do so much work within the community and I love to see funds going back into the community and helping those people out. And then I guess just, I think as a woman coming together and uniting with other women and being empowered. I feel like I've met so many girls over the short time I've competed that are just so strong and go through so many different things, and they're always positive, and they just empower themselves. And I think it's a unique position to have something like a competition where, you know, usually competition, you don't have the greatest connection with people because it's like you're competing. But I feel like this particular pageant, everyone's just so welcoming, and it's really more like just women uniting together and empowering each other. And I think that that's just really inspirational, and it's something that I've always wanted to be a part of. So it's kind of the motivator.
That's what I've heard from previous competitors in Miss Grand, that they say that it really becomes a family. It's not a competition. Well, it's a competition, obviously, but there's that aspect. But you guys become family. Let me ask you more, I guess, a pageant-esque question, just going off what you said. What do you think the biggest challenge facing young women today is?
I think in particular facing young women, I think that social media is a massive influencer on us. I think a lot of the time we end up losing ourselves in what we should look like. Like there's Kim Kardashian, there's different figures and idols that women aspire to look like and to be because of their fame and celebrity status. But I think that it's extremely important to remember that our uniqueness is what makes us beautiful. Like a lot of the time it's our differences, it's our unique qualities that really make us who we are, and how beautiful we are is based on, you know, our differences from each other. And I think if we all ended up like the one person, none of us would be very exciting. So I think one of the biggest issues is constantly trying and striving to be like someone else instead of just accepting who you are. So it's like a self-acceptance and pushing yourself to be the best person that you could be instead of like someone else.
Yeah. And let me just ask you a related question. So on Instagram, you've got about 27,000 followers, which is no small number. And I know that a lot of young women and men and people of all ages, they strive to be an influencer, and their dream is to have 10,000, 20,000 followers. So I just want to ask you, as someone who has that many followers, what is it like? I mean, do you look at that and go, yes, I'm the best? Or do you just look at it and go, oh my God, like, how does it feel having that many followers?
Tricky question, I guess. To me, it doesn't feel like, I mean, it's not really that much compared to many people. So I don't feel like it's a massive amount of people following me. But I hope that to those people, I'm someone to look up to. So I just constantly strive to make sure that I'm posting real things about myself, and just kind of inviting them to be empowered as well and strive to be the best that they can be in their uniqueness. Like I promote myself on my social media platforms, and you know, it's one of those things that's really good for networking as well. I think that social media is the new generation. I mean, everything's going to be online, and I think it's important to stay up to date with those things. And so it's something that I've been building to network with others and make sure that I'm building my social media, making sure that I'm a presence, because if I'm going to have an impact or empower anyone, I need to have that social status as well to try and be recognized and leave a message. So
Taylor, for people who want to follow your journey in the pageant and for all the other crazy amount of stuff that you're doing, can you give us the social media details? And whatever you say, I'll put it below because I know some of it's hard to spell.
Yes, there is. So that's Taylor Marlene 7. Yeah, that's my social media, and then my Facebook's Taylor Marlene.
That's easy. Why 7? Any deep and meaningful reason?
My number. Everyone's got to have a number.
7 is your lucky number?
I guess so. I don't know. I've just always used 7. It's just one of those numbers, I guess.
Oh, and
like a real one now, and I just like
no. I'm just curious because sometimes I ask people like why 7. I say, oh, because up to numbers from 1 to 6 were taken, so 7 was the first one available. Let me ask you this before we go into the final 10 questions. How do you know Gemma?
Gemma, yes. I met her at a charity event. So she was one of the models, and I was creative directing the event. So on top of my modeling, I also creative direct a few pageants. So overseas, I creative direct World Supermodel. So after placing quite well and dancing over there, they really liked me and brought me back on board as a choreographer. So I've been doing a bit of that with them, which is really good. So I've done that for about 2 years now, just been really fun, something different. And I met her through a charity event that I was working for, and she was there as one of the models, and we just really clicked and in the same social circles. So it's been great. Meeting pageant girls is good.
I like how we just sort of discovered a side career just, in the last 30 seconds.
Yeah,
Choreographer.
another thing that's on the list.
Great. I mean, I should say it's on your Facebook profile here, so I shouldn't be surprised. But I feel if we played how many hidden talents you have, I think we'll be here for a very long time. So I won't ask you anything more about what you do. There is a question that I've been dying to ask. Where does your accent come from, Taylor? I can't place it.
I'm so sorry. My accent is so...
Don't be sorry for it. I'm not asking you to be sorry for it. I thought it was sort of British and English, and I'm sort of thinking, no, it's American. I'm completely confused.
Well, due to my cold as well, I'm a little blocked up, so I think it's affecting me. I can't really hear myself. Sorry, so I'm a bit weird. No, my accent is actually, I had a lot of British friends, and then I pick up accents just really quickly. It's really bad. I'm actually Aussie Kiwi, so that's my background. But my friend's just got back from America, and her accent's really strong, and I just tend to pick things up. It is horrendous because I'm like, I'm Aussie, but I don't sound Aussie at all. If I go to America, I'll just become one with America or England.
Hilarious. So you're like a chameleon. So whoever's next to you, you pick up their accent.
I'm just adaptable, see?
This feels like it'd be a useful skill if you ever become an actress that you can put on someone else's accent.
Yeah, it'll be like, I can pick it up quick. You've just got to be around me for a bit.
And you definitely do not sound Kiwi. I did not hear that at all.
Okay. Well, occasionally the Kiwi comes in, but it's very subtle. So.
Okay. All right.
British.
That's fascinating. So many, a melting pot of so many accents. I couldn't pick it.
I'm sure we're going to hear Russian anytime soon. That's an interesting one I can't pick up.
Okay, so let's go into the final 10 questions. This is sort of the pageant-esque side of it.
Ooh, okay.
And it's always the same 10. So I always tell my interviewees they can cheat if they want and just look up other interviews I've done. But here's the first question.
I didn't get the heads up.
I don't want to make it too easy for you. This is good practice for you in a week's time. So 10
yes,
questions.
I have to.
Number 1, what is your favorite word?
My favorite word. Ooh, my favorite word. I say awesome a lot. Is that sad? I'm always saying awesome. So I guess awesome.
I don't think you said it once in the interview. So
sure. I know, but it's something that I always end up saying. I don't know. I guess being awesome and making sure others are. I don't know. Must just be the word I use.
Okay. Well, question 2. What is your least favorite word?
My least favorite word. Ooh. Well, apart from swear words, because I'm not really a big fan of that kind of language. I've noticed everyone's been saying moist, though. That seems to be a really well not liked word.
I was going to mention that, but yeah. Moist will do. Let's move on to the third question. In life, what turns you on, or what are you excited about?
Ooh, new adventures, I think. So, I mean, like my life, I've got so much going on. So anything new that comes along, I love to experiment and give things a try. I went skydiving recently in New Zealand, and jumping off a bridge, bungee jumping. So I've done like a few random things. I think just giving something a try and getting the adrenaline rush. It's always fun.
Bungee jumping over New Zealand must be a fantastic
feat. Oh, not over New Zealand, just over a bridge.
No. I'm confused. Skydiving over New Zealand must have been an awesome view.
Yeah, no, it was great.
Okay.
Lots of fun.
Getting my words mixed up. Okay, question 4. So question 3 is what turns you on. Question 4 is what turns you off.
Ooh, negativity. I think that I'm I've got so much optimism that any kind of negative thoughts kind of like really get me down. So I don't like negative kind of speaking. So I'm generally just quite a really happy person myself. And I try to portray that as much as possible. So any kind of negativity, not a huge fan of. So I generally gravitate away from that.
How do you overcome times when you perhaps are not the happiest? Because you do seem very happy, sort of default. But everyone has their times when they're not feeling so great. So what lifts your spirits back up?
Majority of the time, I think it's being around loved ones. So just being around people that know your self-worth, and that are always there and encouraging. Like, my friends and family are 100% supportive of me, which is amazing. And I think also just reminding myself that there are other people that have so much less than what I have. And I think it's extremely hard myself to get down in a negative place when I'm constantly working with people who are so much worse off or have had a worse experience in life than what I have, and still remain positive and move on with their life and have all these things going for them, even though they've been through such struggles. So I think dealing with that every day, it kind of keeps me happy because I can't be down around those people.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
Okay, fifth question. What sound or noise do you love?
Do I love? Ooh, the sound of like food arriving. I'm such a foodie.
What sound does food make arriving? Are you talking about Uber Eats?
Like the order's ready. Yeah, the phone ringing for Uber. Yeah. I don't know. Just such a food. Anything related to like my order being ready and me going out and getting food. I guess that's more of a smelling thing. Love
Okay, you say you're a foodie. Does that mean you like to eat or you like to cook or both?
I can't cook. Actually, I'm a terrible cook. I just eat.
Your favorite?
I'm a horrendous cook. Terrible housewife. Just not where I belong.
What, do you burn things, forget things, or it's just you're not made for it, or?
I think not made for it. I think with my busy schedule, I've just never really had the opportunity to sit down and cook properly. So a lot of the times I'll just be eating on the go and getting like frozen meals or something, or having someone else cook, and I'm just like eating on the go. So I never really had that upbringing of cooking and learning how to cook so much.
Okay.
I'm not too bad when I try, but yeah, I'm not the greatest.
Okay.
I just up people.
Let me give you a rather bleak scenario. If today was your last day on Earth, what meal would you most like to have?
Oh,
Your
sticky
last
date.
meal. Sticky date.
Sticky date. Oh, it's the best. You can't go wrong with sticky date and like vanilla bean ice cream. I could talk about this all day.
When we end up at Miss Grand, if Tasha Ross is there, she might be one of the judges there. Speak to her. She's currently a Miss Universe finalist. She in our interview she talked about sticky date. Like that's the one. Yeah.
She's my girl. We're gonna connect.
We'll connect over sticky date.
We'll
Okay.
connect over.
That was ironically. What sound do you love? What sound or noise do you?
What smell do I love?
Oh, yeah, that should be one of the questions. But what sound or noise do you hate?
What noise do I hate? 100% my alarm clock. Never want to get in the morning. Oh, it is the worst sound. That constant dinging. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, that definitely makes sense.
I have to set 100 alarms to get up in the morning, so it's not fun.
One of my interviewees had a walking alarm clock, a running alarm clock that because she hated waking up as well, and it would make this horrible sound. And then if you didn't turn it off immediately, it would run away from you and keep blaring and making the sound. That worked for her.
Because she'd have to get up and chase it.
Yeah. Unfortunately, the first time she tried doing that, it went under her bed and got stuck, and she couldn't get it out. So for the next 5 or 10 minutes. Anyway, that's irrelevant. Let's go on to the next question. If you could have any one superpower, what would it be and why?
Ooh, I'm going to be really stereotypical and say flying. No, it would always just be amazing to fly. One of those things.
Same answer as Gemma.
Oh, there you go. See, no wonder why we're friends. Besties, both want to fly.
What job or occupation, other than your own, would you most like to attempt?
Ooh, I guess my nursing, which is what I'm training at doing. So it's very similar to what I do now, I guess. So, I'm kind of heading down the way that I want to go. So
sounds good. Okay.
Yeah.
What about what job or occupation other than your own would you definitely not like to attempt?
Ooh, I don't know. I kind of myself, I've had like a quite big variety of different jobs. Like when I first started, I was a cleaner. So when I was working, when I was at school and dancing and everything, it was just like a real side job cleaning a real estate agency. So I did cleaning, so ranging from there all the way up to nursing and dental nursing and everything. So I don't know that there's a job I specifically hate to do. I mean, in my job now, I'm practically kind of like a mother because I do all the personal care as well. So I don't know. I feel like I do everything. So I don't know. There's good and bad for every job.
Yeah. Now, ironically, Gemma's answer to that question was she didn't want to be. And you know that she works in real estate, and you just said that your job was a cleaner at a real estate agency. This is so weird.
I'm there after hours, like, oh hey Gemma, just clean. She's gonna see this and be like.
Okay, final question. If heaven exists, what would you like to hear God say when you arrive at the pearly gates?
Ooh, if heaven exists, I would want to hear Prince singing. I'm a massive Prince fan, and he's obviously passed away just 2 years ago. So I think arriving, it would just be amazing to just hear him singing. I think that would be amazing.
Song?
Arrival. Ooh, Let's Go Crazy.
Good choice. Do you listen to Prince on like electronic, like digital format, or do you have the old school vinyls?
Well, we've got everything. We don't have a vinyl player though, so I listen to him on my iPhone, and then we've got a whole stack of CDs and different pieces that we've gathered over time. So
yeah,
I saw him live twice. It was incredible. I was like VIP seats, so he like winked at me and handed his guitar down to me, and I was front row. It was so exciting.
Wow, that's not something that everyone can say. You got winked at by Prince.
Yeah, and he gave me his guitar. It was like his Purple Rain guitar. You can tell I'm passionate.
Well, he didn't just give it to you, like he let you hold it, right? You didn't get to keep it.
No. Security took it off me pretty quickly. But no, he was just at me and winked at me and like passed his guitar down to me. It was just one of the best moments of my life. Amazing.
Wow, that's a brush with celebrity if I've ever heard one. Well, Taylor, look, we're only a week away from Miss Grand, so when we release this interview, it might only be a day out, or it might already have started. But best of luck in Miss Grand.
Thank you.
And I'm going to thank everyone for watching, and we'll speak to you soon.
Thank you so much.
Hey, it's Adrian. If you'd like some pageant coaching to help you win that title, or you'd like to keep up to date with our interviews, check us out at thepageantproject.com. Speak to you soon.